Hello lovely ladies, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be talking about the importance of self-preservation. What is self-preservation? Self-preservation is the first law of nature, and what it means to preserve oneself is to cut off and detach from anything that you believe may be of harm to you and that is worth preserving. It's meaningful and you can nourish it without having any regrets. It means to protect your peace, especially being a woman on her level up journey, right? You can't have people constantly accessing you, or you cannot constantly be overextending yourself to people to the point where it burns you out because you want to appease and please those people. And this brings me back to a time in my life where I want to say it was high school, university, and well after university, where I was in my 20s. And those years were very hard for me because when I was a young girl growing up, I just wanted people to accept me because I'm an only child. And so when you're an only child, you tend to navigate and feel things on your own, and you spend so much of your time validating, uplifting, and overextending yourself to others. And that's what I was doing. But as I reflect on it now in my 30s, I realize that all that overextending and people pleasing that I was doing, it wasn't being poured back into me because people always perceived me as the woman who had it all together. You know, I was an only child, I'm spoiled, or everything comes to me easily. Well, that's not necessarily true. You're actually carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders mentally and emotionally to the point where it becomes so clustered in your mind where you can't really make sense and understand why you are feeling this way. And I realize it's because I was carrying the weight, pressure, trauma, and stories of other people to the point where I was not able to craft, curate, yet alone write my own story and put myself first. And even worse, I could not validate myself. So what did I do? I looked for validation in others, in the world, with hopes that they would let me know that I was valuable and worthy. Well, for any of the ladies who are listening, that was by far one of the worst mistakes I ever made. Because again, when you're carrying the weight of others, there's no room for you to carry your own weight and validate your own self. Where does self-preservation fit into that? The pandemic was truly the best time for me. And I don't want to invalidate anyone's experience during the pandemic because I know a lot of people had it rough and it caused the world to just be quiet where people can be alone and in stillness. And for some, that's very scary. But for me, I embraced it. I loved it because it really got me to not only reflect, but also begin the journey of self-preservation. So what is it that I need to do to better protect and preserve myself? Because now I'm in my house, it's quiet, it's peaceful. I can create my own ambiance and use my space as a spot for creativity. It was like an epicenter of my own feminine energy. And from there, I can create, curate, and cultivate what I want, not only my present life to look like, but also what I want my future to look like. So your girl was making vision boards, your girl was creating content, your girl was experimenting with her style, your girl was journaling every day, just getting out things that I was internalizing. And I even went to therapy during the pandemic. And listen, these therapists were getting that money, baby, okay? So I was in therapy. I was learning about the importance of boundaries, which apparently I had no idea how to set and communicate with others. And I had people in my life who I thought were my friends, but they weren't. They just wanted me around because to them, I was just a good time. They didn't see that I was a human being and that I couldn't share my stories and my experiences, because I was always that person where people would come to me about their problems, their issues, and any types of drama or negative circumstances. I was the go-to person because in their mind, I was the girl that had it together, right? I was the girl who, in their mind, didn't have any problems or didn't have any weight to carry. Well, just because I have a lot of weight on me, mentally, emotionally, it doesn't mean that I can't carry it well. I can carry it well, but not to the point where my body is starting to wither away and I'm starting to get worn down. So it really marked a pivotal moment for me. And I'm so grateful for the pandemic because now I can take what I've learned and apply it to the outside world. Master the art of self-preservation. So now I'm even more selective of who I have around me, because the people I want around me, I want people who are introspective, people who are trailblazers, people who got motion, because those people are a reflection of me. I can't be around people who cannot think critically, who are a constant danger and detriment to themselves. Because if they're a detriment and danger to themselves, they're most likely going to be a detriment and danger to me. And true wisdom is being able to look at the mistakes of other people, right? Smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from the mistakes and decisions of others. And when I hit my 30s, that's when it really became eye-opening, and where I said, okay, look, I have to protect myself from this particular person, because if this person is making these decisions, and if this person talks this way about others negatively, then there's a high chance that they're going to talk about me negatively. And I don't want that kind of energy inflicted on me, because I find when negative energy is thrown at you, we tend to become negative ourselves and we just transfer it on. It's an energy. And self-preservation is all about protecting your energy. You cannot pour into others if you're running on empty. Self-preservation promotes longevity in terms of your purpose. It's a marathon, not a sprint, because when you're sprinting, you're going fast and you end up going nowhere very quickly. Whereas with self-preservation, it helps you stay in alignment by going slower. So in that way, you can be in the moment. You can effectively make decisions. You can protect your energy and be at peace with yourself, as well as build and cultivate trust. When you have trust in yourself, you are reinforcing your self-worth, and you're teaching your nervous system that, hey, look, I've got you. So if there's any type of adversity, or if I'm in any conflict, I'm able to think effectively and not reactively. I'm able to give myself space to make sure that I'm making the right decision and that it will benefit me long term. It helps you discern who gets to access you, because through your self-preservation journey, you really learn to like yourself. I love my own company. I'm one of those girls who's a popular loner. Like, people in my community, they know who I am. I'm a content creator. I am, in the creative space, and people recognize me even when I go out to events, right? But at the same time, I love my company. So after I go to an event and I'm socializing with people, I feel so happy that I get to come home where I can just relax and decompress while taking the time for myself to rebuild my energy. So in that way, I can go back out into the world. And with self-preservation, it really helps you vet people and environments. There was a time where people would invite me anywhere, and I would always say yes, even if it was to the most hood, most ratchet, most obscure places where I knew that I had no business being in, but I wanted to uphold and please those people that were inviting me. Whereas now I have the luxury to pick, choose, and refuse who gets to have access to me, because I like myself. I like my energy. I like the person I'm becoming. I like the way I look. I think I carry and present myself very well. And when you get to that point, especially as a woman, you really take pride in yourself, and you get to choose who gets to experience and have access to you. And come to find out, not many people deserve access to me. And so I'm able to vet people effectively. I can ask questions, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. And I think a lot of women need to really practice self-preservation when it comes to romance, because a lot of these men that y'all think are good, they're actually not good. Everyone's wearing a mask, but it's just a matter of time before that mask that man has on begins to fall off. It begins to get really heavy. And then now you see this entirely new person that you thought was good, but is not so good because you didn't take the time to vet, to ask them questions. Even in business, I have turned down a few clients now, and I don't feel bad about it because, one, I don't align with their values. Number two, the compensation is too low, or they don't communicate effectively, right? So why would I say yes to an opportunity like that? Why would I attach myself to something that is not going to benefit me? And same with people, right down to your friend groups. Again, with romance, you always have to be looking for ways that you can benefit. So if I'm not benefiting, then what am I doing here, right? I know my presence is a present. People gain value from me, but then now, how can I gain value and opportunity from others? So as long as there's a transaction, then we're all good, right? Like even with my good friends, they always give me resources. They always tell me about cool events and opportunities that happen. And in return, I do the same because I value them. I respect them. They also preserve themselves, especially my best friend. I really want to get her on this channel and we can really talk about this because a lot of the information that I have about self-preservation, she actually taught me this. So shout out to my bestie. And with self-preservation, you feel more powerful, especially as a woman. And maybe I'll make another video talking about this, about the downsides that come with being a woman that is powerful, because power, it's a big responsibility to have, right? With great power comes great responsibility. And I don't think that women really understand what it means to have power. They like to say that they have power because it sounds cool, but they don't know how to actually, how do I say it, harness it and use it for good. Because I find that when you give people power, whether financial power, authoritative power, their true character is revealed in terms of what they do with that power. So I find that with self-preservation, the power that comes from that is being able to emotionally regulate. You're not in a state of being reactive. You're more grounded. You're able to make more effective and better decisions because you're taking the time to think about what you're going to say, what you're going to do, and how you're going to navigate throughout the course of your life. You show up from a place of flow and not obligation. You get more respect. I find that when people see that you respect yourself, whether from how you dress, how you carry yourself, even how you speak, you stand tall, they're going to respect you because they see that you respect yourself. And I find personally too that you tend to attract higher quality people and experiences when you operate from that place of wholeness and not desperation. Now that I am on this journey, I want to be around more high quality people. So people who are trailblazers, people who got motion. So I'm now looking at going to events where there are people that are even more influential than me, people who have more value than me, who have more resources than me, because I'm able to learn from them. And I find that those types of people, they love being able to give and offer value to those who want to be on their level. I'm going to end this video on a high note and say this: self-preservation is not selfish. It is the prerequisite to being your highest self. Let me know what you think of this video. Give it a like, drop a comment, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And where in your life do you think you need to preserve more of yourself? And what has been the outcome for you? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.